Going back to last week, thought we had a great week of preparation. We thought our kids were in it. We had great practices. Our mentality grew as the week went. I thought we came out and we really battled and really fought back and forth against a good team in the first half. And we were able to, kick the field goal at the end and have a 17 to 12 point lead at the half. And then we come out in the second half, and I really felt like that first 5 minutes of the second half really swung the momentum of the game, where they go 9 plays and drive 76 yards for a touchdown. Offensively, we come out, we get an interception on a tip pass. 5 plays later, they're back in the end zone. Okay, then offensively again, we come out 3 and out. That's the time that we got to get a drive going right there, and we got to get back in the game. And we didn't execute 3 and out, and then they go on another long drive. I think it was 11-play drive, touchdown. So it's okay. We're fine. We're down 15, two-score game. We get a great drive going. We go down to the 7. We're down in the low red, and we turn it over on downs. We weren't able to punch it in, and then they come back and drive the length of the field and score again. And it's really, obviously that's not, who we are. That's not how we've gotten to where we are. And when you have failure, you got to look in the eye and you've got to fix it. And you've got to do the things that are number one. You got to own it. And we own things here. We own who we are. We own our mission. We own our vision, and we fight for it every day. And we had failure. And failure happens. It happens in life. It happens in this game. And the thing that I was proud of our players was I was proud we stuck together. There was no negativity. There was no finger pointing. I'm the head football coach, and I accept full responsibility for failure in this program, and I always will. I love this football team. I love our kids. They work tremendously hard. It's personal to them to turn this program around and to build this program. And they were hurt. Our locker room was hurt. And because we play together as a team and we play for a purpose. And along with this journey, failure happens. And it's going to happen. And when it does, it's how you fix failure, how you move through tough times together that determines success. So that's what it was, and we own it, and we're moving forward. But, I really like the mentality of this team, man, and I really like, the attitude and the purpose of this team. So, questions?
Coach, when you mentioned that start of the third quarter there where the things kind of got out of hand, why do you think the team came out, flat in a sense, or didn't execute how you maybe thought they were going to?
Yeah, I think that they came out, and I thought that South Alabama was very patient. They were very patient in being comfortable with 3 to 4 yards, 5 yards, and it mounted up right there, and they were able to execute some big third downs that kept them on the field, situational football, and they punched it in. And look, we've had adversity and adverse situations all season, and we've been resilient, and we've been tough, and we've stuck together. And they went down, and so, okay, next drive mentality, next play mentality. We're that team that we take pride on just playing the next snap, the next drive, and never changing and playing with a toughness. And offensively, we come back out, 1 play, interception, and they've got the ball right there in the red zone. And our defense took the field with mentality, and they had the right mindset, and they fought, and they were able to pop that last run. Okay, so what? We're still in it. It's a fight to the end. And then we go 3 and out offensively, and to me, that's where we weren't playing complementary football. That was where, neither side, none of the phases were really playing complementary football. And give South Alabama credit. They took advantage of those opportunities and cashed them in, and then the game got away, but we're still in the fight. our kids are still fighting, and we're down 15, and we get down in the low red, and we've got to be able to execute there, and we didn't. And, that's on me. I'm the offensive coordinator. I'm the play caller. Our kids are playing tough. I've got to put them in better situations, and I got to call better plays.
Coach, we talked offensively. Knew it was going to take some time to get this group really rolling. I think that first half we saw a lot of growth. What did you see from the team in the first half? Positive things that you saw from them in that first half that they executed well?
In the first half, it was just our mentality and our fight. I mean, you saw complementary football in the first half. Defense is playing, tough against a good team, And offensively, we have some good drives. We miss some things or we don't execute a couple plays. That's okay. We hit the big pass over the top to Devon. We were able to get, basically 2 touchdowns there and able, to get that drive at the end to get points going into half. And it was, we had some momentum right there, some adversity right there with the snap and the safety. We didn't panic. We didn't get negative. Hey, that's what happened next play. And we were able to take the lead into the half. And, I've got to do a better job of having our team ready to go in the second half, and things are going to happen. Good offenses are going to come out and have drives and score. It's how we respond. It's not how we react. And I think the common thing to do is to react and to get negative. And no, that's not who we are, and that's not how we're built. And our response is we get back in the fight. And then now we got to get on a drive, and we got to go make an adjustment to this adversity and answer it and score. And we've done that throughout the year, and this time we wasn't able to do it, so we've got to look at it. We got to go back to work. This is a journey. It's not a sprint, and we're not going to change who we are. We're not going to change what we stand for after failure. We're not going to change our attitudes. We're not going to change our mentality. True character, true toughness, true mentality shines and steps up in adversity and through failure. And that's what life is. And I want our men, when they leave here and they get hit in the mouth with adversity and failure, it's how you respond and you get up and you show and you stand tall on your foundation.
Coach, this didn't play a role in the outcome of the game, but I know you had that lead at half, and then they got that safety. Do you think that maybe had something to do with the beginning of the third quarter?
I don't think so. I really don't, because I think that we responded and went down, and those 3 points were big to get those 3 points back. And I think that was kind of our response then. And we're sitting there 17-12, and the halftime score doesn't matter. To me, it's the most irrelevant score in the game of football. And we talk about that all the time. It's how you start and finish that second half. And, we had failure at the end of the day. And what do you do? How do you handle it? How do you fix it? How do you change it? Because there's always failure and in different areas, and it's what you do next. So, look, I love this football team. I love this staff. I love the mission that we're on. Nothing changes. We've got a tough road ahead of us, and we know it, and we own it. So we got to get tough with it, but we also got to stand on the standards that got us here. Our town has to stand on it. Our students, our university, we're all in this together, and we're going to be through thick and thin, through good and bad. We're going to fight to the end and represent this town and this university and fight for them to get this program back where it needs to be.
Coach, you kind of answered what I was about to ask with that last little sentence there, but, you mentioned response a ton of times so far, today. What do you think the response would be this week from your team? This loss is a bit different than Texas, where no one really expected you to win that Texas game. This game was more 50-50. You could have won it going into it. How do you think you guys will respond this week, and what do you want to see from your team this week?
I truly believe, and I see it, this is a tough football team we have. This is a team that cares about each other. This is a team that has a mission, and we play with a purpose, and we're clear in that. And there's no doubt in my mind we will come right back to work. We have the right mentality. We're focused on us getting better. Again, this is a journey, and we approach every single day with the same mindset and the same mission, and we just work on climbing, continuing to climb, continuing to improve the standards. We're always trying to elevate where we're trying to take this team and this program, and I don't see any change.
Coach, you knew it was going into hostile territory at South Alabama homecoming weekend. This week, you're going into another hostile environment. Marshall, one of the best college football teams at home. How do you guys prepare for another test on the road to where it's going to be a challenge?
It's our same routine of preparation each week and how we do it, but you always got to know your opponent and you got to know what you're going into. I've been to Marshall twice personally, in 2020 and 2022. The history of Marshall, the fan base there's a lot of tradition. There's a lot of passion for that program and their people. And they take a lot of pride in that. And it's a tough place to play. And at the end of the day, in the Sun Belt, on the road, every team you play on the road in this conference is good. And they're tough, and they're coached well. And you see the same thing in this Marshall team. This team right here looks like the 2020 team and the 2022 team. They're fast, they're physical, they play complementary football, and they play well together, and they're very well coached.
Coach, you talked about responding and the things that maybe would have made this thing a little different, and it looked like it was getting away from you, but then as you mentioned, you get a tipped interception, you stop at the 7, and then an interception. People don't forget the interception in the end zone. We're talking a different ballgame at that point.
We drive down when we're inside the 7, right at the 7 there, and we're down 15. If we punch that in right there, there's 10 and a half minutes left in the game, 10:32 to be exact. And it's a whole new game. It's a one-score game, and could be a different, that's why you got to have, when the opportunity arises, and you're put in that moment, you've got to execute. You've got to execute in that moment on the road in that situation to have an opportunity to win it there in the end.
Coach, you mentioned, back to Marshall. South Alabama was a high-scoring offense coming in. Marshall get another high-scoring offense. What adjustments defensively do you need to make this week to contain those offenses? And do you think it's a type of game where you got to go kind of score for score to stay in it?
I think that defensively, I've got all the confidence in our defense. We played great all year. We didn't help our defense out offensively. We just didn't. And we're going to do a better job of that. But these guys are good. They're a really good – they've been beat by Ohio State. They've been beat by a good Virginia Tech team. I think it was 31-17. And they were up 21 points in the fourth quarter at Georgia Southern, and a lot of bizarre events happened, and Georgia Southern was able to win there at the end. So this is easily a 5-2 Marshall team, with a loss to Ohio State and Virginia Tech that is really good in all three phases. This is a championship game. That's what it's going to be. A really good team in their environment. But what a challenge. That's how we're going to build this program. We have to get comfortable as a program going on the road in a hostile environment where you're up against a really good football team and you have to play at a championship level to win this game. And we have to get comfortable in these environments, in these games, in these situations. If we're ever going to build a championship program here, which we are, you got to be able to go on the road and win these games. You got to be able, and these games are won in the end. They're not won at halftime. They're not won in the third quarter. They're won in those last 8 minutes. And we've got to be able to go up there and be in that battle and have a shot in the end, because that's how you win these games. So, again, it's a big challenge. It's a great opportunity to take our guys on the road and in a historical, tough place to play and against a really good team. So, hey, we look forward to these opportunities. That's what it is, man. We're building something here, and we're not about to back down from any challenge.
You know, I think we talked about that 134 mentality all season long, you know, and obviously this is a team that would like to be undefeated in conference, still be undefeated in conference. This kind of lights another fire in this team and gets them going. You know, the great thing, still in contention for bowl games, still in contention in the West Division, the Sun Belt. You know, what's that fire like in this group coming off of last week?
I think in the team meeting yesterday, our players own it now, you know, and that's part of our growth as men and as teams. You know, you don't point fingers. There's not negativity. We're not blaming others. We're owning our performance. We're owning the things that led to the outcome of that game. And we're also building a program, and we're building a team. And this team has done outstanding things up to this point. And we had failure, you know, Saturday. We had failure, so we focus on our failures, and we put all the situations under the microscope. So when we're in this situation again Saturday at Marshall, we're more prepared to have success at the end of that game than failure. And that's part of a team growing and learning and owning. And don't ever forget this. You know, failure does one of two things. And I've seen it throughout my life and my career. Failure does one or two things. It weakens you or it strengthens you. And, man, you know, life is tough. Failure's tough, especially when you have a group of men like we have that it means something to. And we take pride in fighting for this town and these people and each other. But, you know, failure will not weaken us. It won't weaken us. Failure will strengthen us. And I see it in our kids' eyes, and they're owning our failure. That's the key to life. That's the key to success.
Coach, the problem, I don't think lies in your locker room. I don't think it lies in your office. I don't think it lies anywhere. It lies in this town. Because I grew up here. We moved away. And the problem you get when you start having failure is, here we go again. You know, and have you seen that seep into in any way this locker room or anything? This is a totally different group of players.
It is.
But have you seen this like, you know, we're taking responsibility for this? We're going to cut out the outside noise, and we're going to do it our way.
You know, you know exactly who your team is when you walk in the locker room. Basically immediately after defeat or after failure. And it was important for me to get to that locker room, you know, after the game because of media and, you know, getting through the crowd. And I walked in that locker room and it was silent, you know, and it hurt. We had a hurt locker room. We have a team here that cares. We have a team that wants to do it the right way. We have a team that has worked extremely hard starting out at 134 to be where we're at. And there are going to be peaks and there are going to be valleys in this journey. And the key is to continue to stand on the standards of what got us here. Being positive, having each other's back, being tough, you know, being the same man and the same player every day. Because who you are every day is who you become, and our guys have done that. And I'll be honest with you, I've experienced a lot of negativity since that game. And, you know, it's disappointing because you got to stick together through the good times and the bad times. And the way that we build a championship program is we're stronger together through the tough times. You know, it's easy to be together during the good times. But it's when you have failure and you have tough times is when you come together even more. And I think that, you know, when we first got here, it was divided. Everybody was just out there. And now we've seen our potential. And this town and our people have rallied around these kids. And our student body and our university. There's so many great things happening here that are just, you know, we're on the right track or ahead of schedule. But we can't take steps backwards. We can't negativity, there's no reward in negativity. There's no victory in negativity. all it is destruction, and we have to eliminate negativity. You show who you are in tough times, and we stick together, and we fight together, and we build together because we've got something special going on right now. Failure's not going to deter us. Failure's not going to change us. Failure should strengthen us.
Coach, want to keep go a little more in the Marshall game plan wise. What did you see from them that you guys like that you can really take advantage of and find some success against a good football team?
You look at Marshall, and they're solid in all three phases, at all three levels on defense, at all positions on offense. They're really solid in the kicking game. They've got a lot of speed, and they put a lot of pressure on you. This is a team that, you've got to focus on moving the sticks. You've got to focus on executing one play at a time, because this is a good football team, and we've got to go out there and we've got to play our best football this week. So we've got to play great situational football. We've got to stay ahead of the sticks offensively, and we've got to win first down on defense and be really good in situational football. When we get a third down, we've got to get them off the field, and that's a big deal against a really good football team like Marshall.
Yeah, how does your defense build off of, I think when you talked about them, the defense played exceptionally well, obviously Jalen had the big punch out on the goal line, and then Whitehead, 12 tackles, I believe, just the defense has some stuff, obviously the offense knows the growth that needs to be, or the steps that need to be taken from last week to this week. How's that defense continue to grow from last week's performance?
Man, our defense's mentality, they're tough. They enjoy practice. They enjoy each other. We practice hard. We play hard. We play with an attitude, a next step mentality. I've been extremely proud of our defense, man. And, they know that we're better than that. And they know, because we've proven it. But sometimes when things don't go your way and it doesn't work out exactly right every single time, then it's more about how you respond and how you react. And I've got full confidence in this group. They've got a strong character. They're built the right way, and they're tough kids. So I'm excited to see our guys really practice this week and prepare this week for another championship game. It's another opportunity. We get to go on the road and play that, and we've got to get comfortable in those situations. That's what, to build the program we want, we got to go in these environments, and we got to lay it on the line and see where we're at in the fourth.
And this is the biggest game because it's the next game, isn't it?
It's the next game. This is a journey. Every team we play out moving forward is a really good football team, and it's a championship game. But if you look at the last 3 or 4 weeks too, you look at all these guys, they've got 10 to 14 to 16 days off before they play us. South Alabama had a 10-day break. Marshall's going to get a 16-day break. Texas State's going to get a 10-day break. Auburn's going to get a 14-day break right now. So that's what it is. And you know what? So what? Let's go.
Offensive line, how do you feel about going into this game for Marshall? It's going to be an environment. Communication's going to be key. Health-wise, how do you look?
Obviously at this point in time, we're right now, it's college football. We've got a lot of nicks and knacks, and we've got bumps and bruises, and we got guys banged up, but that's part of this game where, week 8 through 12 is where your real toughness starts to show. And a lot of it is who's willing to battle to the end and who does it mean more to as you get to 10, 11, and 12. But, we're going to continue to prepare and continue to do things the way we do them and continue to get this team better and this program better.
Coach, you mentioned multiple times throughout the season that week 8 is where you want to be peaking, coming off a loss. After the Texas loss, you said it was the best week of practice you guys had. Now week 8, time to peak, as you would say. Do you feel like your team is peaking going into this week?
I think we've had opportunities to. I really have. I think our mentality and our effort and our practice, I think that, minus that second half, I really like where we're at week 8, going into week 8, and I like our mentality, and I think that we still hadn't played our best football. This team, we put them together, the 73 guys together. They've gelled together. Their mentality's grown. The culture has grown. Our mindset has grown. We've taken big steps, but now here in the end, it's going to get tough. And let's get tough with it. Let's stay positive. Let's stick together, because what we control is we will fight every single snap to the last second of this season. And that's our mentality. We are going to be the same to the last second of this season. And that's how you build a program. And we're not going to get negative. We're not going to stray from who we are and what we do. And then we're just going to continue to build upon that. So right now, man, hey, let's have a great Monday. Then we'll focus on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll get on the plane. We'll go to Huntington, and we'll go into a great environment, and it's against a really good football team. And by God, let's go to war. Let's go to war. Hey, get the Warhawks on the road, and let's go battle.